Feel not only get a win, but also get a PB?
Great. Feels great. After the race right now, I'm feeling a little tired, obviously, and it's just a different kind of strategy I tried executing today. It worked out well. Without making excuses, I wanted to go out with the pace. I asked Kyle earlier in the week for sub 350 pace. We're all on board about it. Then kind of last second, wasn't feeling 100%, just kind of congested, and it was one of those things where I had to play it safe a little bit, and for me today, that was just tuck it in with the pack and feel it out. And when I felt finally good later in the stages of the race, make my move. So that worked out well. I was very surprised to see that we ran that fast because I kind of threw the pace out the window and just went for the win. And I honestly wasn't listening to any splits. I had no idea what we came throughout the whole race. And honestly, I didn't even know I ran 350 until about 30 seconds after the race. So that was a pretty big surprise, but also I think allows me to know that this is going to be a pretty big year for me, where I could kind of come in there, talking to Alberto last night, come in this race, and it was about just kind of toughing it out there and see what I could do when maybe I'm not feeling 100%, and there's going to be races like that. It could be, unfortunately, the morning of the Olympic final, could be trials, could be any time, and you're not really allowed to call it a day and reschedule. So it's showed me today that I'm very, very fit. So
you made a huge surge with 200 to go, trying to get in front of Millrose. Was that the plan to try to have the lead with 200 to go? So
no, not really. To be honest with you, I kind of tried to move up a little bit with 400 to go, and I ran the whole penultimate lap, kind of off his shoulder in lane 2 a little bit. So I just kind of felt him out a little bit with 400 to go to see if I could get around with him with a little bit, with a little ease. I just kind of picked it up so gradual, and he fought me off. And then I knew coming out of home stretch I had to make that move and hit that bell in the lead. And so that's why I kind of made a pretty hard move there on the home stretch going to the last lap.
Does this ever get old hat?
What's that?
Does it ever get old hat winning here?
No, never. I lost my second Millrose here, and so I still remember that loss to this day, and it stung. And so I can't say I'll ever get tired of winning here.
Has this happened to you before where you feel maybe not so good early in the race and somehow for whatever reason, a minute later everything's...
Has it ever happened in any race before?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. One that reminded me of, one that stuck out was the road mile in Des Moines last year, the start of the season. I just got just came down to altitude, was feeling terrible in the race and pulled out the win there. And after that race, I knew I was like, same thing, it's going to be a good season to be able to come out here and not feel 100%. I'm not going to lie, I actually thought about not racing this race last night, and then I talked to Alberto on the phone, and, to my surprise, I thought he'd say, yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not 100%, I went to the doctor, everything, like, congested, he's like, but this is something that, I told Galen, years ago, and he ended up coming out with a PR when he was in high school or something. So he just kind of said the same thing to me, like, look, you're not going to come away from this race with a huge setback. You're just fighting this thing, and it's my temperature was down. I wasn't, I wasn't running a fever. I didn't have the flu. It was just kind of just basic congestion. And so he was just saying, this is something you got to fight out. And so.
Did you think you had a fever earlier on?
No, I didn't. We had to go see the doctor to rule that out. I didn't have the chills, didn't have anything like that. It wasn't anything major, like I said. It was just a lot of traveling the last week, and again, I don't want to sit here and talk about that as the whole story, but that was just something where I'm just pleased with the outcome of the race, and just reiterating that I'd like to have gone with Merber early on, but it wasn't one of those days where I could be as aggressive as I like.
Sorry to interrupt, but Matthew's got to go to the cool-down set for TV. They want him desperately.
Okay.
So you can come back. You can